Um, this week's case is about DEI initiatives for a supermarket chain um, called Peachtree. And DEI initiatives have always been a pretty subjective area. Um, a lot of people differ on this. It gets more political than um, maybe other cases we've discussed. It's proven in the Supreme Court case that kind of showed that affirmative action in the college application process is prohibited now, which was a big move in the DEI state. So, in this specific case, it discusses a board change that resulted as um, basically getting a consulting group coming in and saying how we improve our company, and they said they should um, probably transform the state of the board as far as the ethnicity goes. Um, my specific view, I agree more with Robin than I do with Bill George, although not like other cases. I kind of can see both sides pretty fairly, and I feel like there could be a middle ground in between them. Um, Although that middle ground is not black and white, it's very gray, and I feel like the actions a company should take is very relative to their situation. Um, Although I feel as though there are certain standards that should be in place regardless of any company's situations. Um, as the case for Peachtree, I feel as though both make a good point in saying that the all white and elderly board is probably not the best idea. It's not the most beneficial towards the company at all, and it's not providing kind of differing views and backgrounds, especially considering that their consumer base is mostly minorities and women. I think it was said like something like 70% or something. So, I understand definitely keeping some of the elderly people and the more experienced people on the board around, who know the company structure and whatnot, but not having that outside view is kind of just a lack of experience and a lack of knowledge in just the entire customer space and the initiative space. So, but I do also agree with Robin on the fact that they were a little extreme on the mandate portion of things. Um, I feel as though it's kind of unspoken that the whole board shouldn't be one ethnicity and kind of have the same values and beliefs altogether, because that does not benefit just the broader structure of the company and allow the mind to think for all instead of just through one kind of viewpoint. Um, but the mandate itself, I don't personally believe in. I personally believe that as far as DEI initiatives go, that the best employee that is eligible to be hired should always be hired under the condition that it is not majority, and by majority I mean like extreme majority, one race where it's just a terrible like look towards other people. And I feel like that goes without saying in any company, but the basically the director here kind of put it in writing with a mandate, which comes off kind of wrong because it kind of gives off the idea that people don't even have a chance in getting hired, and that's not fair. It's pretty unfair. But those in power are expected to kind of intuitively know that there should be differing viewpoints and diversity in every single company and situation. If it can happen, it should happen. Ideally, and like how it is in real life, is all races kind of are equally skilled and they're all equally possibly effective in a company's structure. But the demographics and the proportions of the certain races coming up and applying for jobs might differ from that, and that might become a problem with DEI initiatives where companies are forced to hire a less eligible person because of their values, either black or white being the victim of that. Um, so I feel like the healthy balance between these two would be to hire until you can't the people who are most eligible and beneficial until it becomes a problem like they're in, where you're supposed to intuitively believe that there has to be change, there has to be a difference in viewpoints, where you have to move the ball forward from a different point of view, and you can't just sit back and accept the same values over and over again with the same people, because that's not growth. That's just being comfortable in what you know and what others know that are like-minded. And diversity should never be something where it's forced. It should be something that's accepted, because people can always benefit from different viewpoints and different standards, and it's just a great learning opportunity for everybody, and that's how the general company and consumer-based structure grows, in my opinion. So my basically set of actions would be to move forward with it until you can't, and then make a change, just like they're doing, but you can't put a mandate on because that makes it automatically unfair. But I'm sure the people, especially the consumer base and the backlash they saw on social media, shows that they have an overwhelming majority of white elderly men. And there should be a change, but there can't just be a mandate that says we're firing white men and basically they have to get out of here and nobody else can get hired until we hit our quota of pretty much 50% minority or different gender hires, which I feel like is just unfair and not a good look at all to any company. So it's kind of the responsibility of the company itself prior to this event happening to find the best employees that they possibly can without sacrificing skill and just the want to work in trying to achieve these DEI values. So that's what I got.